The Rock's daughter is dating another female. WE star, who is Ava's girlfriend, Tatyanna Dumas. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer, have a nice day. For the WWE Family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. Dwayne, The Rock. Johnson's daughter has found love and she is not hiding it from the world. She is reportedly in a relationship with WWE developmental wrestler Tatyanna Dumas, and the couple recently shared some sweet moments together on social media. Simone Johnson, known in WWE as Ava, recently accompanied her father to the red carpet premiere of The Smashing Machine, and they were joined by Dumas, who posted several photos from the event on her Instagram. One look at the comments section shows how supportive fans are of Ava's love life. A fan wrote, "Dating Ava and meeting The Rock, you're living the dream." Some fans were surprised by the news, unaware of Ava's relationship status. One user commented, "Didn't know she was a lesbian, didn't get that vibe." Tatyanna replied kindly, confirming, "I'm bi, that's why," with a laughing emoji. In a second post, Tatyanna shared more photos with Ava, who had recently faced criticism online for her comments about Charlie Kirk and The Rock. Ava commented, "The best memories, I love you." Tatyanna responded, "And it's just the beginning. I love you." With that, the two publicly confirmed their relationship. Tatyanna Poganza Dumas is an Australian professional wrestler signed to WWE's NXT brand under the ring name Tatyanna Dumas. According to Eurobasket, she also has a background in basketball, most recently playing for the Inner West Bulls. Currently 26 years old, Tatyanna is known for her strength and charisma. Before joining WWE, she appeared on the Australian version of Gladiators, where she performed under the name Comet. According to Gladiators TV, she also served as the women's head coach of the Sydney NBA Academy. At age 16, she became the first and only female from New South Wales to be selected for the Australian College of Sport. Additionally, Tatyanna competed in Ninja Warrior Seasons 2 and 3. She grew up in Adelaide, Australia. Everyone who knows Dwayne Johnson knows how much he values family. He has 3 daughters, Simone, Jasmine, and Tiana. He shares Jasmine and Tiana with his wife, Lauren Haitian, and Simone, Ava, with his ex-wife, Danny Garcia. Born on August 14, 2001, the now 24-year-old Ava followed in her father's footsteps, becoming a 4th-generation wrestler. Outside the ring, she made history as the youngest-ever general manager of WWE's NXT. Ava is paving her own path in the industry, and her father couldn't be prouder. In an interview with MTV UK about Ava's journey, Johnson became emotional as he talked about her independence, saying that she never asked him for help getting into WWE. In his words, "I never got that call. Like, hey, can you call someone?" I never got that call. And that's the truth. He went on to say he's extremely proud of the amazing human being he and Garcia raised. Meanwhile, WWE Action has returned to Australia. The company recently hosted SmackDown in Perth and will continue with Crown Jewel on Saturday, October 11th. Fans are anticipating big surprises at the event, featuring stars like John Cena, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. Here are 3 shocking things that could happen at Crown Jewel 2025. The Rock has been absent from WWE TV since John Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber 2025. He was expected to return at WrestleMania 41 but didn't appear. He could make a surprise comeback at Crown Jewel, thrilling the WWE universe. John Cena is currently on his retirement tour, which has been widely praised. He's faced some of his greatest rivals, including Randy Orton and CM Punk. Fans have even discussed a potential match with Edge, though that's unlikely as Edge is now active in AEW. Another name fans want to see Cena face one last time is The Rock, one of his most iconic rivals. WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi recently shared his thoughts on the match on his Off the Top podcast, saying, "If I'm picking someone to go out with, it'd have to be one of the GOATs. I think the final boss versus John Cena, that's the one. At the end of the day, people would say, John Cena's last match was against The Rock." That's legendary. The Rock and Cena first faced each other at WrestleMania 28, where The Rock defeated Cena. WWE promoted that match for an entire year, the longest build-up in company history. They met again at WrestleMania 29, where Cena earned his redemption. Ronda Rousey hasn't competed in the UFC in years, but rumors continue to persist that she might make a return to the octagon. When TMZ Sports recently spoke to Rousey, they asked if a comeback was in the works. Rousey gave birth to her and Travis Brown's second daughter in July 2024, naming her Likaula P. Omahina Kaipiha Brown. For Rousey, her current focus is on reconnecting with herself after pregnancy. Rousey parted ways with the UFC in 2016 and joined WWE 2 years later. The former women's champion left WWE in 2023 and has since been openly critical of the company's management. She has ruled out a WWE return and believes that WWE might overlook her contributions to professional wrestling. For the Olympic bronze medalist, life now revolves around family and self-discovery. While fans may hope to see her return to either the cage or the wrestling ring, the baddest woman on the planet is focused on being a mom. Brazilians had a strong showing at UFC Rio. As undefeated BJJ champion, Bia Mesquita made it 4 wins in a row for her home country and her promotional debut on Saturday night. A native of Rio de Janeiro and part of American Top Team, Mesquita faced Irina Alexieva in a women's bantamweight bout on the undercard of Charles Oliveira versus Mateus Gamrot. Mesquita was the heavy favorite going into the match and performed impressively in the octagon. According to UFC commentator Michael Bisping, Alexieva was fortunate to make it out of the first round, as Mesquita controlled much of the action. In the second round, Mesquita displayed her elite grappling by forcing a submission for her first UFC win. Nicknamed after UFC Hall of Famer Ronda Rousey, Alexieva has now suffered 3 straight defeats in the octagon. The former Bellator fighter has only 1 win in her 4-fight UFC run. When asked about a potential return, Rousey made it clear that fighting isn't on her radar right now. Instead, she's focused on something more personal, rebuilding her confidence after giving birth. That hasn't stopped fans or fighters from speculating. After training privately for several months, Rousey's name started circulating again, with MMA figures like Chris Cyborg calling her out for a possible bout. But according to Rousey, she's not interested in fighting. She's focused on finding peace and balance in her life. For a fighter who once dominated the UFC bantamweight division, this represents a new kind of victory. Rousey's journey from MMA to WWE and now into motherhood has been full of change. And while some fans still hope for one last walk to the octagon, Rousey seems content leaving that chapter behind, at least for now. Whether Ronda Rousey ever returns to competition is anyone's guess, but right now, she isn't chasing championships. She's focusing on herself. Are you satisfied with Ronda Rousey stepping away from MMA for good? Or do you hope to see her return one last time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Paddy Pimblett's rise in the UFC. Paddy Pimblett has been rapidly rising to superstardom in Dana White's promotion since his 2021 debut. Much like Rousey did when she became the first UFC women's champion by submitting Liz Carmouche in 2013. The Liverpudlian impressed fans in his last fight at UFC 314, dominating top-ranked lightweight Michael Chandler, and is now eyeing a title shot against Ilia Topuria. Pimblett built a strong MMA following even before joining the UFC due to his lively personality and distinctive style. Over the last 4 years, he has continued the success, selling out arenas and becoming one of the promotion's most popular stars. He's managed to stay at the top by entertaining fans both inside and outside the octagon, demonstrating that charisma is just as important as skill. That's what I think really matters, that you can make people know who you are even if they don't watch fighting, Rousey said, speaking to MMA Fighting. That's how you master the entertainer side of being a fighter. I think a lot of fighters don't realize that they're also entertainers. The one person who really understands that is Paddy Pimblett, and I really appreciate that about him. Rousey, who retired from MMA in 2016 after 2 tough title bouts, has sparked rumors about a possible UFC comeback in recent months. In July, 6 months after welcoming her second child, she shared training footage of herself rolling on the mats, which fueled fan speculation about a return. Speaking to TMZ Sports earlier this week, Rousey said, "I'm just enjoying being in the gym again. I feel a lot better and much healthier." The legendary former bantamweight champion went on a historic winning run before retiring from the sport in 2016, following defeats to Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. She has been considering a comeback, which would be one of the biggest in the sport's history. Rousey made an appearance in New York at Comic-Con this week to promote her own projects and participated in a Kwanda session recorded by MMA Fighting's Jose Youngs. One key to Ronda Rousey's success as a crossover star was her ability to connect with mainstream audiences and embrace her celebrity status. She appeared in movies and magazines, making her a household name even when the UFC was still relatively young. Speaking on Friday, she emphasized the importance of that connection, noting that Paddy Pimblett seems to understand how to entertain and engage fans both inside and outside the sport. The British fighter has become popular with audiences beyond the UFC, making him a rising star with broad appeal. "That's what I think really matters, that people know who you are," Rousey explained to the New York City crowd. "Even people who don't follow fighting. That's how you understand the entertainer aspect. I think a lot of fighters don't realize they're also entertainers. The one person I think who really understands that is Paddy Pimblett, and I really appreciate that." Rousey was a major entertainer both in and out of the cage, with quick, decisive wins complemented by engaging media appearances. She famously appeared in films such as Entourage and The Expendables, as well as making 2 runs in WWE after her MMA career. The legendary former lightweight champion helped to fill the Farmasi Arena for UFC Rio, with a sold-out crowd showing strong support throughout Fight Week. However, there were concerns about his quick return after being knocked out by Ilia Topuria 15 weeks earlier at UFC 317. His opponent that night was the determined number 8 contender, Mateusz Gamrot, who had earned Fight of the Night honors in 2 of his previous bouts. A massive crowd featuring soccer star Kaká and newly crowned light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira watched as Charles Oliveira made his return to the octagon. Fans chanted as Mateusz Gamrot made his walk to the cage. The pair began exchanging strikes right away, with Oliveira landing solid shots while Gamrot responded with his own. Within a minute, the Polish fighter took the match to the ground, where the Brazilian showcased his black belt skills in pursuit of an early submission. By the halfway point of the round, Oliveira had gained the upper hand, taking his opponent's back and nearly finishing with a chokehold. He pushed for the win but couldn't secure it before the end of the first round. Round 2 began on the feet, with Gamrot performing better than expected. Oliveira showed his resilience and continued to press forward with strong offense. He brought the fight back to the mat, eventually locking in a submission that secured him the victory and thrilled the crowd. Prior to the event, Oliveira changed his nickname from Du Bronx to the Predator, a name that reflected his intensity throughout the match. After the win, he celebrated with his young son and extended family in the cage. He grew emotional during the pre-fight weigh-ins, and later, in his post-fight interview with Michael Bisping, he dedicated the victory to the people of Brazil and thanked Hunter Campbell, a close associate of Dana White. The former 2-time UFC flyweight champion also competed in his home country of Brazil in the co-main event of UFC Rio. Figueiredo experienced back-to-back losses for the first time in his career in his previous outing against Corey Sandhagen, which ended due to a knee injury. Months later, the 37-year-old returned to face a top prospect, the #15 ranked Montel Jackson, who entered the fight on a 6-match win.